Alright, what's going on, guys? Your boy Ooze back again once again, and I know it's been a little bit, but we're back as always, and the catchphrase definitely fits for this one. But it's been a few days, and Xbox has finally made the first move, whether it was unwillingly or willingly, but I did hear and see that there was a recent leak concerning the Series S and its price, and it looks like because of that, Xbox felt the need to obviously come forth and just officially reveal what was already leaked, so that way it was out there and there was no speculation or unnecessary buzz, or however way you want to word it. But the point of today's video is we're pretty much going to talk about what's already known and to give my insight and my opinion on the Xbox situation and what kind of impression they have left us with how they've been handling their consoles for this new generation, this next generation, if you will. So let's go to the image real quick. So recently, the Xbox Series X officially came out and was reported and revealed by Xbox. This is off of their Twitter, if you notice on the right-hand side, that the Xbox Series X is going to be $49.99, while the Xbox Series S is going to be $200 less at $299. Now, I want to say that the price on the Series S is actually pretty good for what it offers. The 1440p to 120 frames per second. The ray tracing on the audio is still there. The share button dynamic latency input on the new controller features. You know, it does have the 8-core AMD Ryzen. A lot of the stuff that's in the Series X is also in the Series S. Not everything, but we're gonna get to that in just a second. They just recently revealed the Xbox Series X. I feel like it was a day after the Series S was revealed. And I figured, and this is kind of like the whole theme of this video, is that Xbox seems to have done a lot of fuck it moves. And when I say fuck it moves, I mean, like, you know, just fuck it. Like, they revealed the console, and what do you know? Not that they revealed it, but like it got leaked, and they're like, all right, fuck it, let's just officially put it out there. And then they had another, all right, fuck it, let's just put out the Series X at that point. And at that, and with that, they even put out the release date, and they put out when pre-orders will begin. Take it for what you will. If you're a super diehard Xbox fan, I'm sure you guys are already excited. This is obviously for you. However, when it comes to looking at it from the outside in, I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't really change things. And I think that with the price of the Series X, it kind of, in my opinion, really shows how defeated Xbox is going to be even in this generation. It really sucks to see. You hate to see it. As a gamer, as a fan of video games, I just love and enjoy playing video games, right? I have a lot of favorites in my life across a multitude of consoles for a multitude of reasons. And I hate to see another company that's been in the game for quite some time now drop the ball so often. I mean, it's super unfortunate that we're currently in a pandemic. You know, times are really rough right now in the real world. And when it comes to the entertainment side of things, the entertainment in video games has been such a pivotal part in this entire pandemic, where literally people are having a hard time just finding a Nintendo Switch. Like, consoles are just flying off the shelves because more people are home more often. They're looking for things to do, games to play. But with all the memes and the jokes going around, Xbox doesn't really have anything worth buying at launch or playing at launch. Like, originally, as we all know, the big joke is all they have is Halo. All they had was Halo, but now they don't even have Halo. Now, we're not here to talk about and meme more on the fact that they don't have any launch games, but it just adds to the conversation that I really feel like they just said fuck it, and they were just like, let's just put it at 500. If we look at some of the specs, like I was already going over, we'll go over the Series X stuff. So I'm not like a computer whiz. I don't really understand a lot of this stuff. For those that are watching, you might understand a little bit more than me, but just take this as someone that's kind of just here to talk about this stuff with you, rather than explain and like kind of dig into every little bit of detail into the super finite information. Okay, the processor is an 8-core AMD Ryzen Zen 2 architecture CPU at 3.8 gigahertz. The graphics has an AMD Navi RDNA 2 family GPU with 52 CU at 1.825 gigahertz. Video memory 16 gigabytes with 14 gigabits per second, I think. 320-bit interface, 10 gigabytes at 560 gigabytes allocated to GPU, and 6 gigabytes. Yeah, like there's a lot of numbers and a lot of flops and flips and all that kind of stuff. The storage, this is something I do understand, obviously, is 1 terabyte. 1 terabyte SSD add-on module with a USB 3.2 external HDD support. It already has a proprietary 1 terabyte solid state drive, and with the capabilities of obviously adding more to it. But starting off with 1 terabyte, I feel like is very necessary, especially nowadays. Games literally take way too much space. Their updates and DLC add way more to the load. And with the Xbox Series S only having a 512 gigabyte, that's trash. I'm sorry, $300 or not. The standard nowadays should always at least be 1 terabyte. We're getting to a point now where it's not going to be about gigabytes no more, because if you're still working with gigabytes, you're most likely going to be a Nintendo system. And even that, I'm still running off of either my 32 gigabit or 64 gigabit SD card, and I have not had to delete games, and I've had the Switch for 3 years. But as far as these big systems go, Xbox, PlayStation, the standard should always start with 1 terabyte. So moving on, optical drive is already there, obviously with the Series X. The Series S is all a digital console. You could call that the response to the PS5's digital option that they're also having at launch. But the Series X, of course, will have the optical drive. Optical drive is where the discs, the DVDs, the Blu-rays will go in, and it also supports 4K Blu-ray. The Series S, well, because it doesn't have a drive, it's digital, obviously. The maximum output resolution, 8K at 60 frames per second. Now, I'm not too sure how many of you guys are already updated your monitors and your TVs to 8K, but the option is there. This is a console that's gonna be a part of the conformity, or the, however way you want to call it, when the technology and everyone adapts 8K into their homes. Right now, 4K is becoming more of a regulated thing, and even the 4K is at 120 frames per second, which is pretty freaking sick. Audio has ray traced, the controller stuff stays the same. VR support is unknown. I'm not really a VR person just because I have vertigo, so I can't even enjoy something like that. The backwards compatibility has Xbox One and supported Xbox 360 and Xbox games, much like the Series S, but the Series S obviously has no disc tray, so that's going to be interesting. Comes out on November 10th for $499. Those are all of the specs, and I think obviously, just from the sound of it, it obviously sounds like this is a very hefty piece of equipment. There's a lot of internal things that I might not understand, but it all sounds expensive, right? The whole point of Xbox and PlayStation holding off on revealing their price points, the release date, is they obviously want the upper hand. They want it to be the last to announce, because it's not like they're really in direct competition with Nintendo, really. Nintendo's always doing its own thing. With these guys, they're constantly head to head. They're fighting for, that supremacy. And I already believe and feel like PlayStation already won, just their launch titles alone. But obviously they wanted the upper hand. You want the upper hand as many times as you possibly can in any game. And with this war going on, I feel like Xbox just kind of gave up, and they were just like, we know that they have a lot of very expensive things in the system, but I do remember hearing rumors about Xbox potentially were gonna try to take the hit and release their console for a lot less, so that way they would almost ensure the sales of their console. But the fact that they don't really have any worthy games to entice players to buy their system at launch on November 10th for either $500 or $300, I just don't think that they're in it. And they it's almost like they've threw the white flag, and they're surrendering, and it really shows. Like, and you hate to see it. I feel like had they still would have at least had Halo, who knows if the Series X could have at least been $399. Now, with all that in mind, obviously, since Xbox finally made their move, it is now PlayStation's turn. And I think that because of these prices, which, you know, I'll just have up for you guys one more time, I guess I'm inclined to believe that PlayStation's options will either match this or just undermine it a little bit. Whether they go the full $100 less or they go $50 less, because again, the PlayStation 5 will also have a digital version as well as the optical version with having a disc tray or not a tray, but you guys know what I'm talking about, you know, as those options. I really think that is exactly what PlayStation was waiting for, and then they're gonna make the adjustments necessary if possible, and that way they can see. But honestly, I don't even think PlayStation would be at a loss as far as their potential sales would go or would be if they decided, you know what, why don't we just keep everything the way we had it. If anything, I would actually be really surprised if the PS5 digital version matched the Series S. The Series S, their big selling point is that this is the smallest Xbox that they've ever made. It looks like a freaking speaker. It literally looks like a speaker, while the Series X looks like a goddamn refrigerator. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. PlayStation 5's design on both the digital and the regular editions essentially look the same. The digital versions are a little slimmer. That's pretty much it. So we'll make a follow-up video as far as the PlayStation's release or reveal is concerned. I think that now that they know that this console is going to be coming out November 10th, I could also go out on a limb and predict that PlayStation might actually even decide to release their console earlier, so that way they really stick it to Xbox. With everything that's happened to Xbox, unfortunately, I mean, can you call it unfortunate? It's like they kind of just did it to themselves through the lots of decisions that they've been making. So I don't know, you hate to see it happen. I wish it was a lot different, and I was going to be one of those fans that bought the Xbox for Halo. I really was. And the graphics on Halo didn't really bother me all that much. I was just excited to play a brand new Halo game. You know, things don't really need to be perfect. You can't really please everyone. And I guess 343 decided that, whether it was based off all of the negative feedback that the initial gameplay trailer received, I don't know if that's what did it in for them, but dude, not coming to the dance prepared, it's gonna leave you on the sidelines watching everyone else have fun. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say. Is that I feel really bad, and I'm very sorry for Xbox, for Microsoft, because as a gamer, as a fan, you hate to see it happen, but I don't think I will be buying an Xbox Series X in 2020, or a Series S for that matter. And another thing, it's really cool, this is my last point, it's really cool that they have the whole, you know, Xbox exclusive games will also be PC compatible. Do you understand that is in itself a double-edged sword? You just gave mad gamers, and let me tell you, in this modern era right now, do you know how many people are getting into PC gaming? Just about everyone and their mothers is a streamer. Just about everyone and their mothers post their clips or their videos or their content, their gameplay to YouTube. They're building these PCs that are capable of that. And if you literally make all of your exclusives also on the PC, it's on paper, it's probably just one of those things where it's like, in your mind and on paper, it looked and sounded like a really good idea. But do you see PlayStation doing that? Do you see all of their exclusives going on PC as well. Having that option for, you know, certain games like multiplayer, like those, that's okay. But even then, it's kind of, it's like, it's a double-edged sword, because if you're trying to sell a new console and that's one of the things that you're going forward in, bruh, no one's gonna buy Xbox. Like, just realizing that, it's just like, I'm trying to upgrade my PC as it is for work purposes, just so that I can keep doing my videos the way that I've been doing them, and have like a powerful enough computer to handle a stream while playing whatever games I already have on my PC. The fact that I could, in theory, not decide to support a brand new Xbox system, but then just say, I'll just get it on my fucking computer. What's the point? They just said, fuck it. This is the era of fuck it for Xbox. I hate to see it. This is Uchi. Hope you guys have a great one. Supporting links are going to be in the description as always. Speaking of my computer, I would definitely appreciate you guys checking out and looking at my GoFundMe, so that way I could actually upgrade and stop suffering on these proprietary ways that I've been going about doing these videos and all that. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. May the power protect, keep it locked, loaded right here on UchiGames channel. Make sure that you are commenting all of your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd definitely love to hear and interact with you guys on my Twitch while we mourn the death of a system and a console that's not even out yet. But I would love to be wrong. I will tell you that right now. I would love to be wrong, and Xbox kind of just does something crazy out of nowhere that really turns it around and gets people to want to buy either of these systems. Keep it locked, loaded right here on this channel. Like I said, stay safe, stay clean, stay inside. I will see y'all next time.